Live. Can anybody see my hand? All right, let me know if you can see my hand. Hold on, I'll walk around too. There we go. All right, I am up and running. Says we're live. Looks like 32 people here. Chris Olson, welcome back. Well, thank you. Welcome back to you also. Thank you very much, man. Hey, let me know if you can see me and hear me okay, please. High Point, or Nick Padula already says, hearing you loud and clear. Cool. Lima Charlie, glad to hear it. Mike F, hey, how you doing? East end of Lake Ontario. How are you doing on Lake Ontario, Mike? All right. Bruce R. So, hey, I'm back. The camera setup is not great tonight. I was rushing. We had tournament fishing all weekend. It's just been a crazy weekend. So I was rushing around. You can see I got a coffee maker right here behind me. I'm looking down here at a desktop computer to see the comments because the camera's a little too far away. So it's going to make it a little interesting tonight. But hey, it is what it is. So we'll talk about some things. Let's see how many people we got here. We got 22 people here. I got one thumbs up. Thank you for the one thumbs up, whoever that was. Blind Osprey's on. Matt President's is on. Greg Schmidt is here. JM Polycare is here. He wants to know, Mike F. He's asking you which port you fish. He says he fishes in Oswego. So maybe you guys can become fishing buddies or something. Who knows? Patrick Forrester is here. He's giving me 4 thumbs up. Thank you for that, Patrick. Very nice of you guys. Cliff French, I think I just saw you jump on. Yep, there we go. All right, so slowly we're getting some people to jump on. Jim Dombrowski just threw me a bunch of thumbs up. Thanks, Jim. And Jeff Abbott as well. Thank you. Anyway, like I said, we're going to wait for a few more people to jump on. We're getting up to about 50 now. Normally, you know, within the first 5 minutes, 6-7 minutes, we get the kind of the lion's share of people jumping on. So, Sean Power say, hey, bud. How you doing, Sean? Travis is out in Kewanee fishing right now. How's it doing? How you doing out there, Trav? Patrick Forster, did you have the tournament yesterday? We had a 2-day tournament over the weekend, Patrick. Yesterday and today. I had a charter on Friday, and then we did the 2-day tournament. We'll talk about that here shortly. Tim M saying hello, Mark McConaughey. Man, lots of good people jumping on now, and just like that, the numbers are starting to fly up. Tom Hurley, bunch of steelhead from Travis Rosinski. Nothing wrong with steelhead. I'll take steelhead all day long. All right. Good group of people jumping on. So, yeah, I had last week off. Again, thank you for being understanding on that. My wife and I went out, had a nice dinner. We hadn't been out in a while, and I love my wife. She's great. She's just honest, you know. And I said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "Well, let's go out to dinner," which we did. Had a nice dinner. And I said, "What do you want to do after dinner? Do you want to just go to a movie? You want to just go for a drive? You want to go for a walk?" Well, we wanted to go for a walk. It was pouring rain, so the walk just never worked out. And I said, "Okay, we can't do that. What else do you want to do?" And she said, "You know what?" She hadn't been to the casino. We have a casino here in Manistee. She said she hadn't been to the casino a long time, or we hadn't been there. I mean, it'd been a few years. I said, let's just go there. Let's just hang out. It's just good to get back out. You know, we've been in a pandemic. If nobody noticed, we've been in a pandemic for the last year and a half. So it felt good just to go out and get away. And so we went to the casino. We stayed there for a few hours. We donated a little money. We didn't win anyway, that's for darn sure. But it was just nice to get out. Nice to get out and do something with the wife. So it was a good night. Oh, let me say this. There was a waitress. I was playing blackjack, and there was a waitress that walked up. She stopped. She looked back. She goes, "Do you do a YouTube channel?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "My boyfriend loves the channel. You know, he's a bartender. If you come down and say hi, we'd love that." I never got the opportunity to go down there and say hello to him. But if you are watching, understand that your girlfriend, I tried to get down there and say hello. Your girlfriend wanted me to do that. I'm sorry I didn't make it. But hey, I'm saying hello now. I'm saying hello now. I'm not sure what your name was, but cool. All right, a whole bunch of comments coming in. Jeremy Maslowski says brand new boat problems. Yeah, welcome to the boating world. I tell you what, there's always boat problems. Somebody talking about a 42-pound king. I'm not seeing, where was that at? Mike F said he heard about a 42-pounder. Holy bleep. Yeah, there was. I know there was a big one caught in Wisconsin. I believe a 36. I hadn't heard anything about a 42-pounder though. But man, beautiful. Big fish. Big fish. Just not really a whole bunch of big fish around here this weekend. All right, how many people we got here now? Now we're jumping up there. Silver Salmon Derby. Thanks, Mike. 42.38 in Lake Ontario. Good Lord. Yeah, Craig Enderby saying the 37 out of Milwaukee. I heard about that 37. I think the big one, I know the big one here over the weekend was 29 and change, just under 30. So I know there's some going to be, I know there's going to be some big ones out there. There's no doubt about that. Zach Schultz says Wisconsin is hogging all the kings this year. No, that changes. Trust me, Zach, that changes. Wisconsin always seems to get them in June, and then as the year goes on, we start sharing them, and I think towards the end of the year, we start getting the lion's share of them. Yep, BOAT boat, break out another 1,000. No doubt about that, Jeff. All right, so here's what happened around here for the tournament over this last weekend. We try to do, and by we I mean me and Jim, and Jim's the guy also on this channel. I'm sure you've seen many of his videos. He doesn't do many videos, but the ones he does are good. But me and Jim and two other guys that we love fishing with, Ryan and Joe, and one of my first mate named Grant, we all went out over this last weekend, did the Manistee Budweiser tournament. So it was the 5 of us knuckleheads out there fishing around. We did not win. I will say that right off the bat. We did not win. We finished middle of the pack or so in the pro division, and but we had a blast. And you know, if you go into tournaments thinking you're going to win every one, you're going to be sorely disappointed. You might want to win every one. Of course, everybody wants to win every one. But tournaments are such a unique structure. I mean, anybody can win a tournament any given weekend. And that's why I always say there's no such thing as the best out there. There's not. Anybody can be the best on any given day. So we did not win. We had a blast. So we finished middle of the pack or so in the pro division. I don't know where we finished in the 3-3-3. We just could not get the fish going. Oh, I'm sorry. We could not get the big fish going. I should put it that way. On Saturday, we boated 8, weighed 7, with a couple kings thrown in there, and the rest were trout. And then today we boated 8, weighed 8. 3 kings and the rest were trout. Our problem, we just couldn't get the size. We had no kings over 7 or 8 pounds. And that we had the same problem, I'm sure, as a lot of other boats. Some boats found them. And that's the way tournaments work. Some boats are going to find them. And congratulations. I'm not sure who won the AM. I believe LCK won the pro division. And he runs a nice charter here out of Manistee. And I'm not, like I said, I don't know who won the 3-3-3 also. I haven't seen the final results. But to whoever did win or just place or just even came out and had a good time, congratulations. I hope you had a great weekend. The tournaments are a lot of fun. I'll say this, if you're thinking about doing a tournament, if you're like on the fence on it, just do it. Just grab your buddies or your girlfriends or your wives or whoever, your kids, just go do it. When we started doing these years and years ago, we hemmed and hawed on it for a while. You know, can we get into these things? Can we compete? You know, we weren't chartering back then. We weren't pro boats in any sense. No sponsors, nothing. Can we get in there? Can we just compete? And finally, Jim and I and a couple of our guys, we just said to heck with it. Let's do it. Let's get into these things. And we found out immediately that we could compete. And we just had a blast. And we've been addicted ever since. So if you're like on the fence, like, man, I don't know, should I throw the money in there? You know, is it worth my time? You know, I'm a little intimidated. There's so many good boats. You know, people I see on TV or YouTube or whatever. Can I get in there and compete with these guys and gals? Absolutely you can. Get in there and just go for it. You will have a blast, I guarantee you. It's a lot more fun when we can have the virtual weigh-ins and things like that. You know, we couldn't do anything. I'm sorry. It's a lot more fun when you can have the in-person weigh-ins and things of that nature. Today we had to do the virtual weigh-ins, the virtual prize thing, which meant that you know, you don't gather at the end, you don't share stories, you don't get to talk around you know, the other guys and gals and talk fishing and whatnot. That's the really fun part of the day or the tournament for me. is just the end. When you get to the end and everybody's got hot dogs going and steaks and a few beverages, and you get to just mill about and listen to the results, talk to other people about what worked and what didn't work, talk about boats, what's going wrong with your boat and what's going wrong with his boat, and it's just so much fun. So honestly, you will enjoy yourself. I went off on a rant there and I apologize, but tournament fishing is just an absolute blast. You don't have to be sponsored. You don't have to be a pro. You don't have to be a charter. You don't have to ever even have, you may never have done a tournament in your life and you'll still go out there and have a great time. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. All right. There we go. Dakota Joe jumping on board. Very cool. Good to see you, Joe. Joe, I saw you around over the last few days. Or over the weekend or last weekend, I saw your boat around. Chris Olson wants to know, how was the weather for the tournament? Yeah, the weather always seems to be a factor for the Budweiser tournament here in Manistee. So on Friday I had a charter, and we used that to pre-fish somewhat. Had a really nice box of fish. But Friday was just gorgeous. Saturday rolls around, and the fog just swamped us in flat calm, but just heavy fog. Like you couldn't see 150 feet in front of you fog. So it was sketchy to say the least. Good. I love radar. Man, do I love radar. But I know not all boats out there have radar. And you can tell by watching your radar which boats don't have radar, because it looks almost like bumper cars out there. You'll see two lines coming, and all of a sudden you see both lines shoot off like that. So yeah, really foggy on Saturday. Flat conditions. The water in Manistee is 55 or so degrees from really the top down to the bottom. So that made it tough as well. Sunday today, again, little fog, not like yesterday, but it was wavy. We're talking, we were the first boat out this morning. We broke the pier heads in probably solid threes, breaking threes, and occasional 4-footers rolling in from the southwest. And it really didn't lay down much all day until about an hour before the tournament was over, and then it laid down a little, and we were probably in twos, 2.5, something like that. But yeah, weather was very interesting, and I'm sure it was a factor as well. Weather becomes a factor in tournaments, of course. A lot of people like to, they'd like to run for their fish. They like to travel far distances. Some tournaments will let you travel all the way to other states. Some guys run all the way across to Wisconsin in some tournaments. But a lot of guys and gals, they like to, move about for their tournament days, and weather's going to restrict you on that. If you got a small boat, of course, you're going to be ultra restricted. Even the big boats get pretty restricted. Yeah, George Burton, we're going to talk about the fishing here. We'll do the fishing. I'll give you an in-depth fishing report, no problem here. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about the tournament and how it went and how much fun we had. But yeah, I'll definitely give you an in-depth fishing report. Well, we're like 15 minutes in almost, so yeah, let's do that now. I mean, that's the name of the name of the video, right? The fishing report. So we'll do that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss a whole lot here on the chats. Bob Hatch, you want to know, are the fish bigger this year than in past years, and why? Bob, they seem to be like last year and this year. I think there are a bigger class of fish out there. Maybe not as high a number of class, but I think the fish are bigger. Why? Well, it all depends on bait, and it depends on stocking. And if the fish are out there and they have a sustained food source, such as the alewife, alewife is the #1 food source out there. If they have a sustainable food source out there and it's plentiful, the fish are of course going to be bigger. The more healthy the fish are, the better the forage population, the better the alewife population, the more stocking can take place. If our alewife population crashed, and it almost did, I mean, honestly, 5, 6, 7, even 8 years ago, the alewife population took an absolute crash. If you don't have things out there for those fish to feed on, it doesn't matter how much stocking you do. You could stock a gazillion fish. If the food isn't there to sustain them, it's not going to work. And your whole ecosystem out there, your whole fishery is just going to take a dump. So it's a very, very fine balance. And I know a lot of people out there are not real impressed with Michigan DNR or maybe the Wisconsin DNR. From what I understand, what I've read and what I've studied in some ways, I'm actually impressed in what they've done over the years to balance this thing out, to keep this fishery from just going in the toilet. Lake Huron did quite a few years ago. That's what happened over there on Lake Huron. The ecosystem just crashed. The food wasn't there, overstocking, and the whole thing just got wiped out. And Lake Michigan came, I'm going to be honest, Lake Michigan came real close to doing that within the last decade or so. So, you know, you can scream all you want, stock more fish, that's what we need. If the food isn't there, those fish are going to suffer, and they're going to wither, and they're going to die, and they're never going to be the table fare that you're hoping they're going to be. So anyway, that's one reason bigger fish this year, they're starting to turn back around. The forage is out there, the food is out there for them, and the stocking levels are starting to increase again. So we're going to see an uptick. As long as the food stays healthy and in place, we're going to see an uptick in numbers, and we're going to see an uptick in size. Now, we know that salmon mature every 4 years. So when they reach the 4th year of their life, they're mature, they run up the river, they spawn, and then they die. So last year, if you went 4 years ago from last year and looked at that stocking date, that was one of the lowest stocking years in recent past history. And that's why last year we had good size because there was a lot of food for them to eat, but the numbers were down because of that low stocking. Now we look at this year, the stocking is back up for this year, which means our 4-year-olds our mature fish are going to be 4-year-olds this year. That stocking number from 4 years ago has come up. And the food out there, the food is there out there, so it's going to be able to sustain. So I think that was a long-winded answer to your question. If that helped you out, let me know. Yeah, that's my take on it, and I'm pretty sure it's accurate in some ways. So in a lot of ways. All right. What else we got? Anyway, let's do the fishing report. That's what I wanted to do. Let's do that. All right, so like I said, fishing out of Manistee is, what do I give it on the fish scale? I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10 right now. It's not amazing, and it's not crap. It's just a little bit above average. Water is, like I said, water is about 55 degrees from the top down to the bottom. So you're not going to find any specific temp breaks out there. You're not going to find those zones that you know you can zoom in on, and you can target those zones to catch those fish. Really, it's when that water is that same temperature, it's going to scatter the fish. So you got to look for the things that are going to hold the fish, like food and structure. Manistee has a great structure called the shelf, which is steep drop off about 3 miles out. It goes from about 80 feet down to about 150 feet in a very short amount of time. Lake Michigan's just really a big bowl with a lot of sand, so any structure is going to hold fish. Even if it's just a drop-off, that's going to hold fish, and that's what Manistee, Ludington, Manistee, Onekama, Frankfort, Arcadia, all those through that line. That's what it's known for, that shelf, that structure. So that's what holds those fish. So, like I said, same exact water temps, top to bottom. Look for the things that are going to hold fish. Like I said, it's going to be bait. Big balls of bait, they're out there. You look for the big clouds of bait on your graph, and look for the structure. That's what's going to hold them. We found fish. I'm sorry, I was reading something there. Anyway, I'm back. We found fish really anywhere from 100 feet of water out to 220 feet of water. And the way that the conditions were with the tournament and the waves today, the only troll we could really do was north-south, or really like a southwest to northeast. So that's what it worked. Today, the north troll was definitely a better troll, going with the waves, a little bit better boat control. But I found the most amount of fish over this past weekend, really from the 14s up to about the middle of the 16s. And if you don't know what I mean by that, if you look at a map of Lake Michigan, you look at the coordinates, latitude and longitude going north to south, you will see that change. You'll see the way that it's 15, 16, 17, 18. It'll get to a certain number, and then it'll start over again. So if you look at that map around Manistee, you will see the Manistee sits almost on that 15 line. So when I say the 14s to the mid-16s, that's that area I'm talking about. That seemed to hold the most amount of fish for me, and really all the other boats I talked to as well. There's a good number of lake trout in that area, and a decent, and I mean like low decent side amount of kings around that area as well. my best numbers where I marked the most fish was 140 to 160 foot of water. And I had a really good amount of trout down on the bottom. I could see on the graph. We were targeting them and we took a good number of them, but there was also some nice kings roaming around in that area, really from 50 foot down or 50 feet down to about 80 to 85 feet down. We were targeting them on big coppers, 13 color lead core, 10 color lead core also was working. Downriggers down 50, 60, 70, and 80. We moved those around somewhat. And we did take a couple fish, excuse me, on our shoot rigger, our middle rigger. We did take a couple fish on that down deep near 100 foot or 100 feet deep as well. So you're going to find the fish in that area. Work those depths. North-south trolls seem to be working the best. Spoon bite was the best for us, except for trout, which came on, trout always come on the standbys. The chrome, double chrome, 8-inch spin doctor with whirligigs and KRW spinning glows behind them. And it really, no one color was working better than the others. With the overcast conditions, though, I did lean more towards a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more shine, I guess. A little bit brighter, some UV mixed in, and I like to have a little bit of glow mixed in there as well. Because when it darkens up and it gets real dark down there towards the bottom, having a nice glow, spin and glow, or a KRW, I'm sorry, or a Dreamweaver whirligig, having some glow in there can really pay off as well. It helps the trout pick up on the bait. Spoons, what was working was carbons, the dark carbons. Not only the Dreamweaver carbon, the Dreamweaver A-bomb was also working. The Dreamweaver Blue Dolphins, all super slims, all super slims. The Blue Dolphin was working. The darker colors seem to be producing. And then Moonshine, do I got any here? I'm looking right there. Let's see if I got it. Hold on. If you'll be patient, I'll see what I got. Might as well just show you rather than tell you. Let's see. Well, that stock got devastated over the weekend. I was going to show you the spoons rather than just tell you, but it looks like they got wiped out over the weekend. So, again, for Moonshines, though, the raspberry, everything was in the small size or the standard size. We didn't run any mags. I'd been seeing a lot of small alewives in the fish that we've been catching recently, so we decided to stay on the small side, and I'm glad we did. I think it was the right choice. But the standard side Moonshines, Raspberry Carbon RV, the Raspberry Carbon, and the Carbon 14 were all doing well. So the darker spoons over these last few days, and I think that will continue over the next, as long as this weather holds like this, and maybe even a little bit longer, maybe a week, 2 weeks, I think those spoons are going to continue to work well, especially early in the morning. Those Moonshine Carbons, the RV Carbon, the RV Raspberry Carbon, the Carbon 14, the Raspberry Carbon, those things always produce well in the morning. Always. Patch Forster, any luck with meat rigs? Okay, great question, Patrick. We did not. We had one rip on a meat rig, and that's the only rip we had. Some other boats did report some fish coming, though, on meat rigs. And there was no one consistent one other than I did hear that the Dreamweaver Showtime, the Dreamweaver Netminder Showtime UV meat or spin doctor with the Showtime meat rig. I heard that from more than one boat. So if I was going to say if there's one consistency on that, it would have been that combination. Yeah, Bob Hatchie. Yeah, Moonshine Spoons work great on Lake Ontario. But I guarantee you Moonshine Spoons work great everywhere. They are fantastic. You all know me. You know me. I'm Dreamweaver through and through. You know, you could probably, if you could break my head open and look inside there, it'd probably say Dreamweaver on it. But Moonshine Spoons, dude, I tell you what, they are fantastic. High quality spoons. I'll take those all day long, just right there, right with my Dreamweavers. High quality spoons. Nobody has a better glow out there than Moonshine Spoons. I tell you what, there's times when I sleep on the boat a lot when I have charters the next morning. There's time I normally put my spoons on the night before, and that way I don't have to get up and mess around with it. I'll put my Moonshines on. You know, I'm out there with my flashlight, find my spoons, put them on my whatever, and put them out there. I'll have my flashlight on, looking at them and whatnot. I will get up the next morning, and those Moonshine Spoons are still glowing. Not like they were, but they are still putting out a glow. That is, I mean, we're talking 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes. That's amazing. Chris also wanted to know, I think he asked before, do I use a camera flash on my glow lures? No, I don't, Chris. What I use, my radar, or my rocket launcher, my radar arch on my boat has really bright LEDs to light up my deck, and I just hold my spoons up to those. Another good product though, if you can find, I think John King sells these on his website. He has little black light, UV light flashlights for not a whole lot of money. And I think they got like 30 or 40 cells inside those things. And if you don't have the big lights on your boat to brighten things up or glow things up, get yourself a good black light flashlight. They're out there. They're not hard to find. It's a great way to do it. Or you can build yourself a glow box. I do have a video on that on this channel showing how to build a glow box. It's not hard to do. The only thing hard about it is finding the lights to go in that glow box. When I first found them, I found them on eBay from, what the heck was the name of that place? It's eluded. No, Deadhead Props. Deadhead Props was where I found that on eBay. Had little, almost like tea lights, UV black lights. Found those. I actually adhered that. You'll watch the video. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, that's where I found them. All right. What else did I want to tell you on the fishing around here? Really, the outlook is good right now. I know Wisconsin's still holding a lot of fish. But with these strong south winds that we're having today and over the next few days, that's going to continue to bring that warm water in, and that's going to continue to set up that thermocline, that temperature break, and that's going to be nothing but good news. I think once that starts to set up, we're going to really start having some good kings around here. I saw plenty enough bait over the weekend, plenty enough forage out there to hold some fish, so we're excited about that. All right. A couple guys, my video inspired you to make your own glow box. Yeah, it's not hard to make. It's really not, and they come in handy. You can throw all your stuff in there. Throw all your stuff in there in the morning. Turn the lights on. You run out to your spot. You open up that thing, and everything's glowing, nice and bright. Yeah, really works well. Patrick Forster, did you use any lead core? You mean over the weekend, I'm sure, Patrick? Yeah, our 10 color was actually one of our better rods over the weekend, that 10 color. And I heard that from more than one boat, 10 color. Oh, and some really nice kings came on, of all things, a 2 color and a 3 color for some boats. Excuse me. So go figure. It's the way it works here in this time of the year when the water has not set up a certain column yet. You'll find those Nomad Kings up in those higher elevations in the water, upper water. All right. What else do I want to say? Really, that about covers it for the fishing report around here. I know Ludington's about the same boat, and I know Frankfurt is actually they were having a hard time over the last few days, but I think that's going to change based on what I'm seeing with the weather and the water conditions. So, yeah. You're welcome, Patrick. You're very welcome. All right, we're like a half hour in, 130 people there. I got 26 thumbs up. Thank you for that. One thing I wanted to touch on was Megan's Army. And I'm just going to touch on this briefly. So, again, thank you to everyone that donated to Megan's Army. We raised just right at $6 grand. We ended up being just a few dollars short of that, even with Buck and Billy Ray's donation. I threw in some more money, and we made it an even $6K. That's the donation. Thank you again. I'm taking that check over tomorrow to the Michigan State Police Post in Cadillac to present that to the person that really started this whole thing, that gave me the information to get that whole thing going. So I'm writing that check tomorrow over there, give it to them. They're going to get a hold of Megan and figure out what and figure out how they want to do this. The thing about, I've had quite a few emails come in saying, hey, we would love to see a video of Megan getting the money presented to her, going in her bank, whatever. You guys got to understand this. She has no idea that we did this for her. She has no clue. And again, based on what she's gone through in the past, she may be overwhelmed by it. She may be embarrassed. She may be, I don't know what kind of person she is. She may be very private. She may be very embarrassed about what happened. If she is willing to do something on camera, I will absolutely do it. But I have to respect what she wants to do. And I'm sure you understand that. And I'm sure you understand why. Okay? So please, I appreciate the emails and I appreciate the suggestions. Just understand that I have to play it the best way for her. But trust me, this money is going over tomorrow. Maybe I'll grab a picture tomorrow of me handing the money over to the state police. I want there to be no doubt that was a legit cause. And there, actually, I got one email that was a little bit, I don't know, maybe accusatory. And I don't think this person even donated. But I got one email that was a little bit on the accusatory side, like, hey, this was a sham in some way. And hey, I'm not going to say who that was, but make no mistake, first off, thanks for insulting me. That really did irk me. Second off, check yourself. Who are you to say? Anyway, I'm going to stop right there. Probably it's better I stop right there before I go off. But if it's that important to some people, I will definitely at least get photographs of me or video of me handing the money off to the state police. All right, put it that way. Put it that way. Travis Rositsky, his wife's got a screamer on right now. Well, get it, Trav. Don't horse it, though. God's sakes, don't horse it. All right, so where did I want to go? Okay. This is another big thing. Megan's Army, again, thank you. We'll wrap that up right there. I will put that to bed in some way to make sure that everybody gets some closure to that. But more importantly, she's going to get that money. It's going to go directly into her college account. So, yeah, there we go. All right. You guys know this. Tangle Tackle has some amazing sales from time to time. Well, let me go this direction first. So, I can't really show you right now, but there is a back room here that has been full of, let me just say, stuff for quite a while, really since this place opened. That back room is in the process of being emptied out of stuff, and it's going to be turned into like a seminar room. And our plan is right now, we plan on having this thing emptied out here within a week or two. Our plan is right now is to have some free seminars coming up over the next summer months. And I don't know how many a month. I would love to do one a week or maybe one every 2 weeks and get some other captains to come in and do some as well. But they're going to be free seminars. So if you're up in the area on a weekend or somewhere around a weekend and you want to come into Tangle Tackle and go to one of these seminars, and like I said, it's free of charge. You just walk in, you grab a seat, you sit down, you listen to me talk for a while, which you're kind of used to anyway. And then we'll go over different topics such as flash or fly, meat rigs, temperatures, direction control, whatever. Whatever the topic is for that week. And then after the little seminar's done, we can do open Q&A like we're doing here. And you guys can ask all the questions you want. And then if there's gear here that you want to look at, of course, you're more than welcome to run out here and grab some gear. Or you can walk right out without paying for it or without buying a thing. Who cares? Just thanks for coming. We appreciate that. So anyway, that's coming up around the corner. Look forward to that. As long as I keep everything moving forward, we should have that here in a few weeks. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, Blind Osprey. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love interacting with other fishermen, regardless of skill level, regardless of experience, regardless of anything. I just like talking with other fishermen. I think that's pretty obvious by what I'm doing here every Sunday. But, yeah, that's going to open up here shortly, so keep an eye out for that. The second thing is you know that Tangle Tackle loves to have good sales, and with the online store getting going, we've had some great ones already. Again, disclaimer, I don't own this shop. The owner is a really good friend of mine. I still get a lot of people that come in here and ask to see me. In the mindset that I work here or I own this place, please understand I don't do either. I just represent the shop out on the water and the owner, again, who's a real good friend of mine. So if you come in here looking for me, hey, first off, thank you, and I appreciate it, but understand I'm probably not going to be here a lot, especially now that I'm knee-deep in charter season. I mean, I don't think I have a day off for a long, long time. But John Haskell just said the owner might have something to say about walking out with product. Yeah, you caught that. I caught it when I said it too, but I was wondering if anybody else caught it when I said that. Yeah, you can't just walk out with something. You understand what I mean. But anyway, sale coming up starting tonight at 9 p.m. And this again is for Tangle Tackle members. To become a Tangle Tackle member, it costs absolutely nothing and it will never cost you absolutely anything. You just go on the TangleTackleCompany.com website. Again, TangleTackleCompany.com. Go on the front page of the website. There's a little block or a little spot right there that says become a member. You put your email address in there, and when these sales go, you're going to get a notification and you're going to get the sales code for these individual sales. I'm telling you right now, God's honest truth, your web or your information is not sold to anybody. We don't share information. None of that happens. Your information stays in-house. Tonight, 9 o'clock, one of those sales is going to start. This is going to be good because I know, because I've heard this over the last few days. Nobody has divers right now, especially the black divers or even the big Dreamweaver divers. Nobody seems to have divers in stock, including Dreamweaver, and that's no fault of theirs. Great people down there. They're just super, super busy, and I think a little overwhelmed this year. Thanks to all of you. That's a good thank you. You've just been wiping them out. So the owner, I should say, has been combing the earth, trying to find divers, and he found a bunch. Picked up a bunch. We're going to have those in stock. So at 9 o'clock tonight, all divers, whether it be Dreamweaver, Lure Jensen, Slide Diver, they're all going on sale at 9 o'clock. It will go from tonight at 9 o'clock until Wednesday at midnight. If you are a Tangle Tackle member, you will get the code used. I'm not going to tell you how much off you're going to get, but you're going to like it. But all divers are going to go on sale, and all diver accessories, which means, and by diver accessories, understand, a diver rod is not a diver accessory. You're not going to get money off on that. A reel filled with wire or mono or braid rather, that's not a diver accessory. A rod holder for divers is not a diver accessory. What we mean by diver accessories is really the snubbers, rip cords, and I highly recommend the Dreamweaver rip cords. Love those things. The rings for the slide divers, the weights for the slide divers, those type of items are going to be on sale as well with the divers. So again, that starts tonight at 9 o'clock, 2100 hours. And jump on the website, like I said, become a member. You'll get that code. You'll get in here. And I know a lot of people are out of divers right now. They're looking for divers. I go to, I learned this the hard way. And I mean this figuratively. I learned this the hard way. I ran out of divers one day on the boat. I had just a couple extra on the boat, and I broke them both off. One was on a snag, and one, I don't know what the other one was. And I was out of divers. So now I keep many, many extras on the boat. And I know I'm different. I'm running a charter. I know I'm different. But I highly recommend keeping at least a couple extra on the boat. Because if you break those things off and your diver bite is just going and you got nothing left to go to, man, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. At least keep a couple extra on the boat. So if you're out there looking for them right now, you're having a hard time finding the Dreamweaver divers, and I know a lot of people are, they're going to be right here on sale until supplies run out. But we got a pretty good stock coming in. Anyway, that's it. That's the sale that's starting tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading a couple posts here. Patrick Forster hosts Reel to Reel with live audience. I know Reel to Reel did a live audience down at Captain Chuck's down over I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. The big difference is I think they charge to get in down there for their thing. We're not going to charge a dime up here. I'm not trash talking them in any way. They're good people. They're friends of mine. But that's the difference. Chris Olson, there's always one beep in the boat, in the punch bowl to screw with. Yeah, I hear you. All right, George Burton, do you fish spoons behind a spin doctor or flasher? No, George, I don't. Doesn't mean that you can't. And I know people out there that do and have. I just do not. I like my spoons naked. nothing flashing with them. And Wally Tomaszek said, yeah, he does it, and he says they both work. Yeah, absolutely, they do. And there's nothing wrong with doing it. I always say this in my videos. I did a video on how I do my divers, and I always like to preface my videos with, I want you to understand this is how I do it. It doesn't mean you have to do it this way. If you do it a different way and it works for you, that's fine. Hey, more power to you. I respect you. But when I did that video on divers and how I use 18 to 20 foot leads off my divers, I got quite a few comments and emails, things like that. How do you do that? You know, do you have a super long net handle? One guy was actually pretty rude about it. Basically called me being untruthful in some way. Again, it's YouTube, and that's fine. Who cares? That's the way things are. But a lot of people are like, how do you do that? 18-foot leads. We hand line the fish in. And I know that's not practical for some boats. For my boat, it's big enough. We can hand line fish. We've got a lot of experience doing it. But if that doesn't work for you, hey, again, these videos are set up just the way that I do it. Suggestions. But if you got other ways of doing it, please, by all means, don't change. If it works for you, stick with it. Excuse me. All of a sudden, I can't talk. All right. Rick Smith, if you could choose most popular covered divers, what am I? Rick, that is an easy question for me. The only divers I run, except for my slide divers, my high divers and my low divers are always black. That's the only colors I run. And again, that's just what works for me. It's what's always worked for me, and it's what I use. I trust it. Somebody just throw me a super chat. Who was that? Jay Busha 100. Hey, thanks for the super chat, man. Thank you. Thank you for just being here. He said thanks for the videos. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for being a part of them. Thank you very much. But yeah, black divers. That's all I use. And if I can't find black divers, like here's a Dreamweaver Deeper Diver in Wonder Bread. If I can't find black divers, I just take these things and I spray paint them black, and it lasts the whole season. Nick Padula wants to know, what's your recommended leader length for 11-inch paddles? Is it still 3 times? No, Nick. Actually, for me, okay, this is really, again, one of those highly technical things that I do. For my 11-inch paddles or my beck holds, you know, the bigger paddles, what I do is I take the fly and I drop it down to the deck so the trebles are just touching the floor, and I touch it right on the top of my belt buckle. So it's the top of my belt buckle to the floor, and that's my leader length. I couldn't even tell you what that length is. That's just the way I've been doing it for so long, and it works great. Rick Smith, thanks for the answer. Yeah, no, thank you, Rick, for asking the question. Basketball for life. I'm from Northwest Oregon. Will all the flies that you use work in the rivers around here for salmon? Basketball for life, there's no way I could say. If I told you yes and I'm wrong, then I'm a liar, and I don't want to be that. So my gut feeling is yes. Salmon are salmon, and they're programmed up here the same way, really, in Lake Michigan, Pacific Northwest, wherever they may roam. I think yeah, our techniques, again, will probably work out there, and your techniques will most likely work out here. I did try some meat stuff that I got sent out here from Oregon last year. I only got to try it a few times, and I'm looking forward to trying it more this year. But I know that's a salmon thing, and it's the Brad Super Rigs, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on the name. Brad's Cut Bait Rig, something like that. I'm looking forward to trying that a little more, because I have no doubt that we can interchange ideas and techniques and all that. In fact, I've had several people from Washington, Oregon contact me and say, yeah, your stuff's working out here as well. So, yeah, I have a feeling that we can interchange. Everett Vanderhyde just went fishing with me, actually, on the last couple of days. Everett, good to see you, first off. You guys had a really good day. But Everett, yeah, belt buckle length would be longer for some of us. Yeah, Everett, for you, I know that. Not all of us are 6'10", though, buddy. But for me, being 6 foot, that's what works for me. The longer the leader is, the more stealth. Yeah, Wally, you're right. You're absolutely right. And also, that longer leader will, you know, that flasher, that big rotator is going to put some action on that fly, but it'll also let it just kind of dangle back there in a way that's really hard for me to explain in a way. You know, it's not going to just be jolting all over the place. It's going to have some action on it, but because of that longer leader, it gives it a little more enticing action. I think that's the word I was looking for. A little bit more enticing. All right. What are we? We're like 45 minutes in almost, 132 people. One super chat from Jay Busha 100. You the man, Jay Busha. Thank you so much for that. Basketball, yeah. Brad Super Baits. That's the things I was talking about. They were given to me by a guy that lives out there, sending me a bunch of them. Like I said, I got to try a few over the last season. I didn't get to try them as much as I wanted, but I'm looking forward to trying them again. John Kepich, what's a good R to get for downrigger cable? I'm not quite sure what you mean there, John. You might have had a little typo in there. Try that again if you want to, John. I'm happy to answer it for you. Machine just spit out a piece of paper. All right. All right. Patrick, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. All right, we can wrap this thing up. What leader link to use for 8-inch rotators? Mike, that's a great question. I actually got a video on that, but I'll tell you right now. Let's see if there's a flyer on here. Not right in front of me. Anyway, for 8-inch spin doctors, my leader length is really technical again. I stick my arm out, I bend my hand like that. I hold the hook right there in those fingers, and I grab the leader, and I come up here and I touch the top of my shoulder. So it's about right there. And I think that's right around 22.5 inches for me. Maybe 24. That's how I do that, though. What's a good downrigger cable for your downriggers? Big John. Excuse me. Big John has spools of downrigger cable already made up in I think 250-foot lengths. They'll send it right to you. Go to BigJohnSports.com or BigJohn.com. They got it right there. You know, I should talk about that because I get a lot of questions on Big John. I was up there not long ago, a couple weeks ago, talked to them. I get a lot of questions. Hey, what's going on with Big John? Their website doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. Big John is under the same pandemic umbrella that we're all under, where shipping is really slow. They're having a hard time getting the product and equipment that they need to build their things. So they're putting everything together as fast as they can. Obviously, the new downrigger is taking a little bit of a back seat. They're just wanting to get the stuff out that they can. Once they get back up and running at full capacity, which I'm sure will be sometime over the next, over the next maybe 6 months to a year, I'm sure that new downrigger will start coming back into play. But they're doing fine. They're not out of business. They're shipping things out as quickly as they can. John Kepich, you're very welcome. My wife said, my wife says I have pork chops and potatoes waiting for me. I gotta get out of here, guys. I got pork chops and potatoes waiting for me. So, Basketball for Life. Hey, you're welcome. He wanted to thank me for the video that I put on or put out regarding that glow box. You're very welcome. Yeah, I saw it, Mike. Mrs. Tangle Tackle left me a message. Supper's waiting. I should get out of here, right? I should. Okay, let's do that. Let's wrap it up right there. Don't forget, 9 o'clock tonight, that sale starts on divers. Guys, gals, stock up on them. Keep some extra ones on the boat. I'm not just telling you that to sell them to you. I'm telling you that because learn from my mistakes. If you're out of divers and the diver bite's going, you're going to want to sit in the corner and cry. So get a couple extra. Doesn't matter how big your boat is. Keep a couple extra on there. You will be happy you did. Someday you will be happy. Wally Tomaszek just threw me a Canadian $7 super chat. I love seeing Canada. Canada's so cool. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Well, yeah, let's pop smoke. Let's get out of here. Thanks again for being here, everyone. Go out there, be safe. Get into a tournament. Jump on, check out the sale tonight. Load up on that, and look forward to the seminars that are coming up soon. We're going to be happy to have many of you in the shop and talk some fishing. That's it. Let's get out of here. All right, see everybody here next Sunday, 7 o'clock. Thanks again. I'm going to walk around there and turn this thing off. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to have some dinner. All right, everybody. Take care.